Yeah. It is 1 o'clock. All right, people, Catfish Dave here. I've been off for several weeks. To y'all that regularly watch, you've seen all my audio issues I was having out of my cameras. Pretty much destroyed 3 videos. So I took a couple weeks off trying to find out what the issue was. But anyway, it's been a while. Water temps have dropped, quite a bit. Last time I was here, water temps were about 56. Right now they're reading 49 degrees. We are here in mid-December, and usually around Christmas, I'm either getting a shallower bite or a backwater bite. So we've got creeks here, we got flats here. I'm gonna stick with the shallower water since that's usually where I do best this time of year. And I'm using the bait that I usually do best with, which is, if I can get them out of here, they're not much, but just old Fort Loudon size gizzard shad. You don't get big gizzard shad around here no more hardly, but I got enough to fish. And you know, this time of year, water temps cooling down, it's not such a bad thing because the fish tend to like a smaller bait anyway. So maybe everything's going to work out for the best. We're going to start out right here on a flat. I've got a couple of creeks in the area of this flat. They like to go up in the creeks this time of year too, so we're close to the right area of these fish. We're just going to have to mess around out here a little bit until we come across some. Typically I'll have all this stuff ready before I start a video, but it's been a while since I've made a video, so I'm a little off my pattern here. Kind of gotten out of practice just a little bit. These dragon weights that wrap around the rods, just unwind them, straighten them out. I've got this great big hook on here. I need to take that one off. That's for big skipjack head baits, and we don't have none of those, so I'll go ahead and use it for now, but I'm going to be tying up a smaller Sonar SSW circle hook. Good circle hooks should be great for these gizzard shad sized baits. One more to go. We'll get this boat moving. Of course, I always drag either upriver or going into a cove for best results. A lot of times these fish are one directional, and that's the only way they want to hit sometimes. Little crazy sounding, but it can really matter. I've got cast nets, 2 of them in the boat here, kind of right in the way. We'll get those over there. I'm going to go ahead and get this boat spun where the camera's right into the sun. Hopefully we don't have no audio issues today. It would be very nice if we did not. We're moving. It's turning around. Well, it's turning around. We'll get the rest of the stuff out. Yeah, these old gizzard shad like this, all I do pretty much, if you use the center chunk off that, it's just too soft. It comes off. So I just cut the tail off those and hook them right up under the snoot. cut the tail off. Go ahead and get the boat going right here. Go ahead and get the first bait out. It's been a while, y'all. Cold front just came through, so it was like in the 20s this morning. I'm forecasting a pretty rough winter because I've already seen snow twice, and it's only mid-December. So, now this area here, I haven't drugged too much, but I remember last time I did, there is some hang-ups in here. There is a lot of rock. We're dragging in 30 foot right here. And I don't think we're going to be getting much deeper than that. If anything, we could be getting a lot shallower. So I don't have to let a lot of extra line out here. I hope I've got audio. It's always nice to have audio in a video. Yeah, the sun should get a little better out of the camera once we work our way upriver. Now, the biggest thing I'm worried about today is one of the biggest killers of fishing trips. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Let me check the time. It's 1:02 right now. But the biggest killer of fishing trips can be that full moon. That full moon is going to be in the sky at 3 o'clock today, so I'm not looking forward to that. Now, I can tend to do really well during the full moon phase as long as I'm fishing while the moon isn't up. As a matter of fact, it seems to be a really good bite, better than usual, as long as the moon isn't actually up. I don't want to let too much line out here. Fairly decent day. It's about 40 degrees right now. I waited till a little later to come out because I knew I had to catch this bait. And there's nothing worse than throwing a cast net and getting your hands wet while the temperatures are freezing. And you got to grab these baits. I mean, there's no way around it. You're getting your hands wet. If I don't grab them while I'm netting them, I'm grabbing them while I'm putting them on the hook. I can't hardly fish with gloves on, you know, as far as operating these reels. They're just too bulky, too much in the way. We'll get 3 baits going for now. And I'm gonna get in my box there. I might get lucky and find a demon dragon that's already got a owner hook tied on it. For those that don't know what a demon dragon is, it's that right there. It's basically a lure without hooks. I use them for flotation. Sometimes the noise they make makes a difference. Sometimes it don't. And I sometimes wonder if the noise on certain days could even possibly spook fish if they're just in a weird mood. I tend to always catch fish with them, so you never know what kind of mood fish are going to be in. Go ahead and get this out. We're 24 foot now. Hopefully there's not too many hang-ups here. I know once we get up there, it's not too bad. But I wanted to try this area here. Since, well, it's one of the first places I came to that is fairly shallow and next to some creeks. I usually get a really good backwater creek bite around Christmas, and it's, how far is it? About a little over, a little over 2 weeks away from Christmas as I'm filming this. Go ahead and get in my box here because that 12-aught hook is too big for what I want. I had me some demon dragons already tied up at one time somewhere, if I can find them. Letting too much line out of that. Okay, there's a demon dragon, but it's got a big hook on it. So I guess we'll tie one up fresh here. Now I had really bad luck out of this demon dragon, this style, this color, when I first put it on, but I may give it another try here. It's a different time of year. Let me grab a owner hook out of here. SSW, they look like that right there. I might even have one loose down in here if I look, and I might not, so there's one right there. I'll need that. I tie a snail knot using a straw, so we got that. I'm going to pull this board in a little closer to the boat here. And I need to keep an eye on my graph because I am going a little too much to the left, more than I want to. So we'll get the boat steered. I keep me a roll of line in here. And I tell you what, this line's fixing to need changed. I took it off a big spool. This is Momoy Diamond, 80 pound. I took it off a really big spool and I put it onto this empty small spool. And I keep it in this coffee can here just to keep it somewhat dry, but it's getting that milky look to it. And I do not like seeing the milky look on monofilament. The sun hasn't been hitting it, but still just being out here in these temperature changes has seemed to have degraded my line a little bit, so we'll use it for now. Go ahead. I usually keep it in the can while I'm doing it so the roll don't go all over the place. Yeah, I've got a series of humps and bumps coming up here, and I like humps and bumps. But I do want the boat more left. I've got 2 graphs on today. Got my maps and down scan on my Garmin here. And I've got this big low Rance here. It has a much bigger transducer. And I use that one. It's got a better side scan than that Garmin does. It just seems to show you fish better. Of course, now I've got the smaller, I think GT54 transducer on the Garmin, and it's only about a third the transducer that this Lowrance is. I was hoping for a nice transducer because when I was in the Bass Pro Shops and I'm looking at the demos of this unit, you know, I just expected to get what I seen. But no, he handed me the box with the GT54 transducer. Of course, I didn't realize until I got the boat out and said, hey, this isn't near as good as my Lowrance. There we go. That's kind of a sloppy snell. I got to talking. It's kind of overlapped a bit more than I like. It'll work. It'll catch a fish. Not as pretty as I've done in the past. Okay, it straightened out a little bit once I gave it a final tug there. So we'll clip the tag end. Cut about that much off. And we're good to go on the hook. Now, let's put this back where it goes. No bites yet. It is a full moon today, but we're still a couple hours away from it. So I think we're just not on any fish yet. One thing about this style of fishing is if you're not on them yet, you will be before the day's over with. Might have to try a few different situations, scenarios. And I'm just guessing on the depth of fish. That's just normally where they are this time of year. We might be better off to fish deep. I haven't been out here in a couple weeks. And the last time I was, the water temps were also 10 degrees warmer, so there we go. There's that old bad luck spook. This is the Nocturnal Nation catfishing spook. I had a lot of bad luck out of this thing. It was always hung up, hardly ever caught a fish. I could have just jinxed myself tying that on, but oh, there's a bite. We just had the first bite right there on the flat. Closer to the bank. So we did see a little action there. This almost isn't enough leader here. I guess I'll go ahead and run a short rig today. I should have just tied a brand new rig on. Yeah, maybe it'll be okay for today. Try to use as little bit of line possible tying this knot. Get her good and wet. Cinch her down. Okay, it'll work for today. It'll work for today. Put this back up. Where'd my straw go, man? I didn't want to lose my straw. Did I lose my straw? I must have lost my straw. I thought I put my straw up, but I don't see it. Well, dag blast it. There it is. It's down there. Oh man, I stepped on it and I split it all the way down the side of it. I'm sure I got another one in the boat somewhere, but I obviously stepped on it. Much smaller hook, more in line with the bait that I'm using here. We'll go ahead and get it out. Woo, that reel sounds terrible. Man, that Shimano sounds worse and worse every time I come out here. I do believe I'm gonna have to take this thing apart and throw some Earl in that reel. A couple of them are sounding like that actually. They've all been used the same amount. They're all out here in the same conditions, but two of them are making a bit of a racket. Let me check my drag. You know, if they sounding like that, make sure my drag feels smooth. It's not too bad. Oh man, that's terrible. Tell you what, that line won't come out on its own. Just by the momentum of the boat, I'm gonna have to pull it with my hands here. That's terrible. Here we go. Ah, there's a little bite right there, red board. Oh, I seen something. What did I see? I seen something out of the corner of my eye. Might have been where that board jumped over after I locked the reel down. I have good peripheral as well as cat-like reflexes. Yeah, looks like I got audio according to that green bar. Well, all right, y'all. That's really all we can do. I know that gizzard shad's what they're going to want to chew because that's just what they do this time of year. You'll tend to find a much slower bite on skipjack this time of year in these water temperatures. They'll still occasionally eat it. There goes that dag blasted phone. What I need here is my screen to be a little cleaner on the low rants so that I can actually spot some fish. I'm just trying to see what's in the area. There was quite a bit of bait in the creek I came out of And, you know, there's not that much difference in water temperature between here and in that creek. If anything, the creek temp seemed like it was a degree colder. As I checked it, well, we're rolling, waiting on a hungry fish, waiting to see the effects of that full moon coming up here. I noticed I couldn't sleep last night. I mean, I ain't had 20 minutes sleep. And I don't know what it is, but I don't sleep good on a full moon. And I don't keep track of moon phases. But it's gotten to the point that I'm laying there tossing and turning just like I'm all jacked up on caffeine. And I can look up the moon phase, and sure enough, it'll say it's right at a full moon. It's like 90-something% today, almost full. Yeah, it's enough to affect me. But yeah, I'll start tossing and turning. I'll Google up the moon phase, and sure enough, it's a full moon. So it not only affects me, but it affects the fish, or vice versa. I'm pulling at a speed of 0.72. And I'm not seeing a ton of action on my side scan here. If I did, I would probably slow the boat down. Well, there's possibly something there on the left side of the boat. There's several fish stacked up, one leaving a shadow that are larger fish. But that could be 3 big carp for all I know on that side scan. There's 3 of them, larger size, one putting out a pretty good shadow. Right in front of this creek that we're coming into here, or passing in front of. Oh yeah. Yeah, that low rent side scan will pick them out. I use it when I want a cast net for shad. There's a bite. He might go down. He just nipped it a little bit. Well, all right, y'all, 3 small bites here, and the time is 1:23. So about 20 minutes fishing. Oh, we hooked him. 20 minutes into the trip, we hooked our first one. Up on the flat in front of the creek. He's a running. I'm trying to keep him out of that other board. He's at the top of the water. He's a small one. But the skunk is out of the boat as long as he comes in over the side. Now he's going back down. Yeah. He did not give me my bait back. Now this is a really long leader I've got on this one. When I cut it, I wondered if that was too long. This fish does have some mud on its side. You'll see that a lot once it starts cooling down. Yeah, fish feels like it come out of an ice box. Swallowed him a gizzard shad. Oh, oh. And we did hook him. We did hook him. And he is going for that line right there. Tighten my drag up a little. I hate it when they swim into the other line because it takes some time to get them undone. Get up there, get up, get up, get up, get up. Yep, he got me. There's the board moving. So we'll go ahead and pop this loose. So I'm not trying to drag in it too. He got me. That's not even a cat, that's a drum, y'all. That is a freshwater drum. I've never caught a freshwater drum dragging for catfish. I've caught them sitting still. But I've never caught him dragging. He has spun around this line pretty good. Freshwater drum, look at there. Dragging for catfish. I was hoping I could get this loose real easy. But it might not. Yeah, this ain't gonna be easy. So we'll go ahead and get the old drum off here. Come on now. Come on now. I'm not used to taking drum off the hook with the circle hook. He's hooked right in the corner. Right in the corner of the beak. Yeah. Old freshwater drum. I may keep him. Bait has not been the easiest, so he's going in the box. Sorry, Mr. Drum. Yeah, I'd love to get this loose here. You're not doing a lot of fishing when you've got 3 rods not even active. And that's what we've got right here, so. How have I got 2 planer boards on the same line? Oh, Lordy. I don't know how I done that. But either way, we done it. Now let's pull everything in and get started again. See what we got here. He's still hooked good. Yeah, in the winter, man, bait can get funny. It can move around on you. Woo, that reel sounds terrible. $25 foot here. We'll put this red board on it. This is that bad luck spook. Now, if we don't catch a fish on this rig today, it will not surprise me. Will not. Got my bait back here. I tell you, the catfish we caught was more towards the outside. But I have had bites, other bites on that side, so. Yeah, that rod sounds a little better than the one. You don't need a lot of line out. And 26 foot's where we're at now. There we go. I'm actually going to reverse position of these. Go ahead and pull it. Come on now. I've got too much stuff in the boat here. I see a screw working its way out of my boat there. All that riding up and down the road. Hitting the bumps and the potholes. Plus a pretty imbalanced trailer tire has worked that screw loose. Yeah, I want to ease my way closer to the bank over here. We're gonna work along this bank for a little while. I can steer my boat to the right. We'll throw on another gizzard shad. I'd like to have some bigger ones. But around here, bigger shad are hard to come by. Yeah, I've caught drum still fishing before. Caught a giant one up in downtown Knoxville. I've never caught them dragging. But you know, they hit lures from bass fishermen, so they will run after a moving target. Those drum can be aggressive. We'll go ahead, let more line out of that. All right, y'all. We're going again. Had a little downtime there. I think I'm gonna have to get me some hydration out of the box. Whatever's been in here has been in here for weeks. I've got some water. I've got some Welch's fruit punch. I'll get it all out. Go ahead and put this demon dragon up with the big hook on there. I don't use a hook that big this time of year. Uh-oh. There's an old loon. When those birds are around like that, those diving birds, that means there's some fish around. There's another name for them loons, but I'm not sure what it is. Make sure my battery is charging up on my phone, on my camera. It says it's keeping up. I'll tell you what, the microphone batteries, oh shoot. Oh, and I waited too long. I waited too long. I believe he got the bait. That one was closer to the bank. But yeah, the microphone batteries, I have to watch. You buy these things. That was on the bad luck spook. That figures, he come off. But you go to order these things from these places, and they'll tell you 15-hour battery life. That's a bunch of bull honky. When it's warm, I change these mic kits every 4 hours, or you will be without audio. And now when it's cold, I've noticed that duration gets shorter. So, yeah, I'm really close to the ledge here of this bank. And I like that, but I need to steer to the right because the river is steering to the right, which is good for me because that gets the sun out of the camera. Where'd my knife go now, y'all? I just had it. Yeah, he hit that bait hard, but I was busy looking at my camera. My good peripheral caught it though. My slow reaction time missed it. And I'm gonna blame the slow reaction time on an hour's rest caused by that dag blasted full moon. Go ahead and let some line out. Swap rod holders there. Man, that sounds bad. Not gonna let as much out. We don't need a bunch out. So we are getting bit. Running point 7. We've seen an old fish-eating bird, so he dove down. I never seen him come back up. There we go. Actually, the inside board goes on the outside rod holder. I used to do the opposite. Someone told me to try it this way for a while. Here comes some dog down here. Someone threw a ball. Maybe he won't bark at me. Good, I don't need a bunch of barking. Bark, bark, bark. There was a few bass boats that had launched today because I was not the only boat trailer at the ramp, but I haven't seen them. And they may not be bass fishing. They may be hunting or something. There's some of this public land on some of these islands around here. That might be why I don't see them boating. Or they could be piled up on somebody's dock with a live scope, fishing for crappie. As long as this air stays dead still, I'm a little bit warm in what I'm wearing. It was windy when I first came out, and now it is dead still. I've got this old Bass Pro Shops overall things here. I'm not wearing the jacket, but I've got some flannel pajamas and some sweatpants under this. And I got a pretty thick t-shirt and a sweatshirt under this coat. So with zero breeze like we got now, I'm starting to feel a little toasty. I'm gonna have me a seat, y'all. I might as well open up some of this high hydration here. I expected to see some action in front of that creek, and we did. We had several shots at fish. Right now we're between the creeks. Oh. I had the water in my hand and he come off. He was just holding it. Just holding it. He wasn't going downriver. Coming into like a little hole area here in a flat. It's like a deeper 27-foot hole in the flat. And he just held it over, but wouldn't keep going. So yeah. We're grabbing the back of the bait, which means they're probably not wanting the head, they're wanting the gut section. But I can't help it because these shad are so small, they're going to get the head section too. So we'll make another attempt. Yeah, obviously not biting the whole bait because he had enough tension on the rod, he would have been hooked. One bait that a person can try that tends to work fairly well this time of year is some crappie. Now crappie can be a hit or miss thing as far as catfish bait, but when they're eating it, they're really eating it. We'll eventually get, I gotta turn a little more to the right again. I got the boat going too far over. Yeah, we are in a hole here. Almost looks like I'm trying to get hung up on this one, which I don't want to do. A deeper area of 27 foot. Yeah, if you can handle the weather, this is a great time of year to be fishing. Same rod. Same rod, outer part of the hole there. I think that's that bad luck spook, because that's what I had on the red planer board. Maybe that's why it's missing the fish. It's the bad luck spook. But it is getting some bites. Sounds crazy, but I have noticed that the color of these spooks can make a huge difference in catching fish or not catching fish, and that tends to be more true in the winter time because this water starts clearing up. We're hooked up there. Yeah, we're hooked up there. Yeah. So there's really nothing wrong with fishing the flat I see. Plenty of action. And we're not even in front of the creek. Now we're in what I would think is a dead spot, other than the fact that it's like a little hole section. Little low area. Old dark fish. Dark colored blue catfish. Yeah. That is one of those strange looking. Will he come in? Man, that's a dark looking fish. Open that beak up and we'll work that out of there. These old owner hooks can be more difficult to get out. There ain't much there for me to. You see, that's a darker color catfish. Yeah. I need a towel, is what I really need. Here's one right here. Woo, it stinks. It's dry though. We'll keep it right over there. Okay. Tell you what, there's my knife. The trouble is, this used to have an orange handle on it. I think it was one of those Bubba blades at one time. No, it's a Mad Cat's knife. I see it right there, but the handle just peeled off it. It just peeled off it. There's another one. Where I could get my bait cut up. Oh, and he come off too. Yeah. They are grabbing the back of the bait. Did he pull it off? He sure did. There was just a little bit of the head left, and it came off when I pulled it up. So I've got 2 rods out of the water, and I better get them. I'll tell you what, I'm actually going to cut this one into a smaller bait just because it's out and I got 2 rods out. I have seen big fish hit very small baits before. It can happen, especially in the winter. So the term is elephants do eat peanuts. So we'll get this out in a smaller bait form. And that's just a chunk. I think they're wanting the chunks. And that's why they're short striking the head. We'll run 2 whole shad, and then we'll run 2 of these smaller peanut size baits, since elephants do like peanuts. Don't mean we're going to see no elephants today, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, we're going to do a smaller body chunk. And I could be trying out some of that drum too, although we're getting plenty of action on these shad. I plan to fish for the next 3 days straight because I took so much time off. I need a video for my channel. I need a video for my smaller channel, which is the Catfish Are Cool channel. And I believe we're supposed to get a bunch of nasty weather here in about 4 days, so. My four-wheel drive is no longer working. I fixed it in the summer. It's not working now. I wanted it this winter. Normally I would be fishing Cherokee Lake this time of year, launching off those lake bottoms and catching some big fish, but I don't feel like I have the time or the money since I just paid $3,000 in repairs on that vehicle back in the summer over the same issue. Don't never buy a 2020 fix or repair daily exploder. Oh, bypass that year. You heard it right here. I tell you what I'm seeing now, I don't know if it's legit because this Garmin graph, it lies. Says there's a hump right there coming up into this creek. Now I've never noticed that before, but that's what it's telling me. And if that is a big hump, we may do pretty good dragging around that. I'll put the boat right over the top of it. It's a smaller hump. And these boards should run the sides of it. We may get hung up, and we may not. I'm definitely expecting some fish to be in front of that other creek. That's a much bigger creek system coming up. It's kind of a small one we pass first. Yeah, we'll see what happens when we come up to that. This Garmin will lie to you now about humps and holes and what's what and where's where. I had an avionics app on my phone that was dead accurate, and Garmin bought it out, and I haven't paid for the prescription and they've got me canceled. But now that old Navionics app, it would show me exactly what was going on here in these Tennessee River reservoirs. It was accurate. If it said it was a hump, it was actually a hump. If it said it was a hole, it was a hole. This Garmin will tell you the opposite. It'll tell you a hump is a hole is a hump, and sometimes it tells you stuff like that is there and there's literally nothing there. So the GPS is solid on it, which is why I got it, because the GPS on the low rants is about 30 feet off. Unless I go buy this separate puck thing to bolt to my boat somewhere. And no, you're not getting no more money. out of me. The GPS worked fine until they came out with that extra puck to sell you. Then they put this little download in there to screw it up where it won't work unless you buy that extra puck. And I just went and bought a Garmin. If you want to be that way, do dirty business, for $1,600 that I paid for this low rance 3 or 4 years ago, the GPS ought to work. It works in Hummingbirds without the puck. It works in Garmin without the puck. And it used to work in low rants without the... Oh, wait. Did he come off too, man? He just nailed it. And that was on that bad luck spook. He buried that rod, man. Just buried it and did not hook up. I'm telling you, this is a bad luck spook. Now these other rods, when they do get hit, we're catching them. Most of the time. This is a bad luck spook. I've said it, and I'm gonna say it again. He nailed it, man, and did not hook up. The drum had no problem getting hooked up. Now he's got a much smaller mouth. Yeah, that board went under, the rod dove down, but they are short striking the bait. At least on this bad luck spook rod they are. So we'll let this out some more. And we'll switch places here. Lots of action, only a few fish in the boat. One of them was unintentional. Now here again, I'm expecting a bad bite once that old moon comes up. Maybe we'll get lucky. I needed something good in the boat before that moon came up. There's a school of possible shad on the bottom there, but I've already got some shad. I would love to look at another map and see if it says that is a hump. I'm gonna switch. Oh, I done something here, clear cursor here. I'm gonna switch over to my low rants map and see if it says that crazy stuff. See if it says there's a hump there coming up. It's reading a little different, but there is some structure there. Definitely so. But man, it's reading totally different than what the low rants is showing me. This is showing me here that I've got a hump on the left side of the boat. The Garmin's not saying that. So yeah, we're somewhat dragging a hump on this left side of the boat right now. It is a flat, but these flats will have some contour to them. We're only in 23 foot of water right now. I can catch fish pretty shallow this time of year. A lot of times in 4 to 4 foot of water. I'm pulling the flat first, but we may just pull into one of these creeks up here. I expect to get hung up doing that, but could be loaded with fish too. Caught a 40-pounder in that creek about this time last year, as soon as I pulled into it. Yeah, Milo Ranch isn't showing quite the same as the Garmin. There is definitely bottom structure, but it is reading different in the shape of the structure. Either way, we're coming into some kind of structure up here, depending on which one is correct, Garmin or the Ranch. Because they do seem to have a different opinion of what's actually going on. Let's check the time. Full moon, it's 2:30, so I'm going to recheck this moon. I'm hoping maybe it'll come up a little later. I could have sworn when I looked at it, it said it was coming up at 3. If that's the case, we don't have long. There's on the right side of the boat again. We're getting more bites along the bank than we are out in the river, so I may ease a little closer to it. Don't get in there now. There he goes, right at it. Yep, I believe. Did he? Yep, he got it. I seen it take a dunk. Sure enough, let's go ahead and pop it loose. You'd think with all that space in between the right side and the left side that they could get around that, but they don't. Come on up here. Causing me all this frustration, man. Be nice if I could. Yeah, you're not fishing when you got this stuff going on. Not fishing a whole bunch. Hurry up, hurry up. Some days you don't get hung up at all, crossed up at all, and some days you get crossed up every single fish. Oh, cold fish. Yeah, all these are just bread and butter eating size catfish, probably 3.5, 4 pound. So far, that's all we've seen. Had some better bites. Bury the rod and not hook up. Yeah, he's really twisted this up. See what we can do here. See if we can get this untangled today during this video. That's amazing. Come on out of there. And I'm only getting tangled up on this side of the boat. The other side of the boat ain't doing it. And it could be because I've got that bad luck spook on this side of the boat. It is tangling up with the bad luck spook. I'm pretty sure that was one of the pieces of baits that I threw out. Speaking of pieces of baits, I lose my knife. There it is. It's just the color of it since that handle's gone. Used to be orange. Oh, shoot. That fish hit that, I believe it had a bite. It's getting pulled backwards there. We'll have to get it in, but I want to get one out. So we got something out. Yeah, way more action over here towards the bank. It's telling me the creek bite could be really good. So I don't need a ton of line out. So go ahead and get this going here. Gotta be efficient out here because I don't know what's gonna happen. Bad luck spook, don't have no bait. So I guess it's a good thing we checked it. Got too much water on these shad. I need to get the water out of them. Shad will get soggy quick, really quick. Yeah, I got me another camera just in case I don't fix the audio issues with this DJI. Got me a Sony ZV-E10 they call it. It is not a weather sealed camera, but it is a real camera that will teach me to use a real camera, because these little action cameras are not real cameras. An action camera is your best option for what I'm doing if you can get them to work. Because of the price, you don't have to put lenses on them. They don't weigh a lot, so it's easy to mount them. That big Sony camera, it weighs quite a bit more, and so I'm going to have to make a much more secure mounting system, because, you know, hitting big waves and all that sometimes. This is a DJI, and the video quality is great. It's easy to use, it's easy to set up, and it takes great quality video. It does overheat, you know. We don't have to worry about that today, but yeah, 9 months out of the year I have overheating issues. I have to keep an umbrella in the boat to block the sun. I keep a battery operated fan in the boat to blow on the camera. Ever since they went to this 4K video, these cameras run even hotter than what they did recording at 1080. They also take up a lot more space. You need bigger cards. Did I get hit right there? Something happened there. Could have been hung up. Y'all, I really ain't had much chance just to sit down. I've either been tangled up or rebaiting, and have had to take a few fish off the hook. I gotta steer hard to the right, or we are gonna be hung up there. The bite isn't super active, and here again, we're real close to that moon. I meant to look that moon phase up. There's a dag-blasted dog barking. I got a bite on the right. Yellow board. Yeah, they're running real close to the bank. The fish that's here. Let's check this moon, y'all, because I know the bite is going to slow once it comes up. Or at least there's a 99% chance it will. Usually does. We'll just go under Google here. Moonrise in Knoxville. I don't have that good of a signal here. It's spinning around, taking its time. I don't know if it didn't hear me or if it didn't have enough signal to hear me. Somebody's running a lawnmower or something over there. Moonrise, here we go. Moonset, moonrise, timeanddate.com. It's slow loading, I can tell you that, so the signal is low. The moon, 91.1%. Waxing gibbous, whatever that means. Yep, next moonrise today at 3 p.m. It is going to be 3 p.m., so we don't have long. It starts affecting the fish, you know, generally about an hour before. So we'll just see what happens. You will notice the bite seriously slow. He's on. He's on. See, they're sticking on this side of the boat. Anywhere around that bad luck spook, they ain't. He's pretty much just running to me. There he goes. Yeah, a lot of bread and butter size today. Bread and butter. At least we are getting some out here in the cold weather. Fish's got a lot of mud on its side. Yeah, I just one-hand these fish today. Come on, man, show yourself. We may be getting hung up here because there is some structure we're fixing to come up on. Yeah, these old shad ain't much. You don't get much. On shad in East Tennessee. That reel sounds a lot better. Still not sounding great, but sounds a lot better than some of them others. Here we go. Here we go. I'll grab the old stinky towel. Woo-wee! It stinks, ain't no doubt about it. It's that soured smell where you get it wet. I throw it back in that bag, because if I leave it in the boat, it just blows out. Yeah, we're coming up into some structure here according to the graphs. Going to be a combination of structure, a point, I'm seeing a lot of birds, seagulls, in the back of this creek up here. Who knows, man? These bigger fish, they could be way back up in them creeks. It's possible. We haven't tried it. We may pull into it though, because so far the flat seems to be about all the same. And one of the biggest fish I caught last winter was pulling into this creek. That'll put the sun right in the camera when I do that, but I hate that. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of birds in that cove back over there. This colder nights we've had has probably got some of these smaller shad floating on top of the water. In a state of shock. I'm gonna zero this in a little bigger. I'm just using it for maps more than anything. I need to go a little more to the right for now, or we're gonna be hung up. Well, I guess that is reading kind of like a hump right there. But it's not reading the way Garmin is. Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going into a creek. I know that creek over there is full of hang-ups. I've pulled it before. Well, y'all, I've been dabbling in the stock market while I've been sitting at the house. Never messed with no stocks in my life. But I was sitting at the house and I'm watching all these people talk about the stock market, blah, blah, and these coins, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of drained my bank account. I got some of it in E-Trade. I got some of it in Robinhood. I bought mostly what I would consider stable stocks. Walmart's, Amazon's, Visa, MasterCards, JP Morgan's, and I got a few volatile ones, some pharmacy stuff. And I did sink some money into them volatile coins. Just something to do. Yeah, there is a lot of bird action today. Seagulls all over the place. Now, that looks like some bigger fish on the screen right there. There's several of them. We just passed over right here. If they bite my lines, I don't know. But that's the first good fish I've seen on the graph right there. And they're right here in front of this creek. And that looks like another good one right there, just tight to the bottom. Also some hang-ups right here, so. The only thing we're battling is that moon, which is not far from coming up. Little bite right there. If there's a hot area around here, it's right in here. Whether they're biting or not, I don't know. Do not like the full moon. It has taken some active bites and just went to nothing many a times. I'm getting some little nibbles. This might be one of those days where you need to be pulling some crappie to catch a decent fish. I've seen days like that in the winter. And I could slice off a piece of that drum and try it. We got bit by the hump there. Same size though. Trying to get hung up on that right board, I believe. Yeah, we are. Don't you do it. Come loose, man, come loose. I know we could get hung up here. It came loose. Now it's still trying to get hung up, I believe. No, it's moving. Those dragging sinkers will jump over stuff. The problem you have with these hang-up areas is not necessarily the structure, but it's other people's lines where they have broken off on it because they weren't using dragging sinkers, and then your hook will come across their line that's tangled up in the structure, and that's when you have issues. We're still trying to get hung up. No, that's a bite, I believe. Man, that's a little fish if it is. Yeah, you can see that. Is that a fish doing that? Or is it jumping rocks? Sometimes when they're going over rocks, they'll look like that. Smaller rocks. Come on, fishy, fishy, fishy. Yeah, from 2:30 on is when the bite's gonna, I suspect, is gonna get rougher, and it's 2:27. I do expect the bites to decrease. Oh, did he stick? Yeah, he stuck. He stuck. I'll tell you what, when they do bite it, man, they're just nailing it. Bam! I don't know if we've actually caught a catfish on the Bad Luck Spook today. It's been hit a lot, and it's caught a drum. As far as actually getting a targeted fish, I don't know if we have. Another old bread and butter size. Yeah, that is a bite there. He's just holding on to that. I may nail him. And he's on it. He's on it. So we got two here. Yeah. Always seems to get more active in front of these creeks. This one here might actually stay out of my line. I don't know, he's getting awful close over there. He might have missed it. There we go. That's a little better one. That's probably the biggest one of the day right there. We'll get him first. We'll get him first. Okay. Yeah, he's the biggest one. Not a monster by any means, but at least we're getting up into the 12-pound range there, probably. Yeah, I can actually put two hands on him. Ouch. Bite me. I'm gonna go ahead and bait this one up and get it out. And we'll leave that one on the line. That way I've got at least 3 lines in the water. I'm happy to see a fish that close to the full moon. Actually, 2 fish. The bait is going pretty fast because, well, we've had a lot of bites. We're getting hit right there. Yeah, there's a good chance this creek is just loaded. We just got another one on right there. I'll just crank him in like this. He's running to the boat. Yeah. He's running to the boat. There we go. That's definitely a bread and butter size there. Let me get this bait out. We'll have at least 2 baits in the water. That's if that one over there's got a bait on it. You never know with these smaller fish around. I guess I'll get you on out of here. That's definitely a sandwich size fish there. Old bread and butter. Bread and butter. Yeah, these old smaller circle hooks. Yeah. There's 3 in a row right in front of the creek. I'm going through bait fast here. I'd say I'm going to have to try to catch some more before I leave here today, or I'm not going to have enough bait for tomorrow. I definitely need to be steering to the right because this point up here will get me hung up. It's pretty gnarly and rocky. Go ahead and get another bait out. I should probably be checking that one out there because it's not getting much action. I believe one of these fish was caught on the Bad Luck Spook. I think it was the smallest one. Yeah, we're coming across a point here. I'm gonna steer hard to the right, and they might be stacked up on this point. We'll just see. Couple seagulls paddling around back there. I guess that is seagulls. I don't know, it's too big for seagulls. I think that's them old loons. Couple of them. Cormorants, that's the other name for them. They have an odd name. Yeah, we'll get this fish in and we'll check that other bait. Come on up here. Fishy. Yeah. Bread and butter size are out full force. This one's fat. He's opened that old beak there. He's up here eating small shad. About to let too much line out of that. I've got to go hard to the right, or we're going to be hung. Yeah, I guess I'll just keep course. Hope I don't get hung. Sometimes they hang on these points, but sometimes not, so we will drag over the point. Sometimes they think they're a bass. Come on. Get loose there. Yeah, we need to be checking that one on the left. This yellow spook has had some action today. And I'm telling you, there's certain colors that do better than others at times. I'm gonna cut this down. I done it backwards. I put it on the hook first. We'll cut it down. And I may, and I could have had a center chunk on there on that one, and it got knocked off easy. Remember I threw that center chunk on that side? That's the problem with the center chunk, they can get knocked off easy. So let's throw this, and let's see if that's what happened. It definitely could be, because it don't take much to pull a center chunk off there. Yeah, I believe it feels pretty light, like there's nothing on there. That's a good reason it's not catching nothing. We may have caught 4 fish coming through there. If we'd had a bait on the hook, I'm making the same mistake twice. I'm putting another center chunk on there. That can get knocked off. I'll tell you what, I've been busy. I just ain't had much time to sit. Put this over here. Yeah, I definitely expect the bites to get less getting away from this creek. And we are now leaving the area. I did get bit along that entire range of flat though. Now there's some good looking flat just up the ways here, flat with structure. A lot of times I catch some bigger fish on that flat with the structure, but I'm gonna sit for a minute. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, it's very interesting how this Garmin reads differently than the low rents. I'm going to go ahead and pull forward because we are coming into like a little hole area of the flat. And we got bit in that same situation on the other flat. So we'll keep pulling. Give me a break. Give me a little chill time if we don't get bit. Now, if the bite gets bad, and I expect it to, I may turn the boat around and drag up into those creeks, because I do expect more concentrated numbers of fish to be up in there. And there could be a bigger fish in there. So far, we haven't seen anything too big today. We have caught enough for a fish fry, though. I'll go ahead and steer the boat back to the left. Now that we've dodged our little obstacle. It should be real close to moonrise, y'all. Let's see what we got here. It's 2:43. "21 foot on this flat. Seems to be a hair shallower here. According to Garmin and Lowrance, I have a bit of a underwater hump like point that comes out up here. We could drag across it. Yeah, I seen a few bigger fish. That one area, there were several together, and they just did not eat. Would not eat our bait. It's the only good marks I've seen. Yeah, notice the bites decrease as we pull away from the creek. I'll tell you what, the water is looking more still. When we first got started, there was a lot of birds everywhere. And I'm seeing less of that. Do the birds know that the fishing gets tougher when the moon rises, and so they're just taking a break? Ah. 14 minutes away from moonrise. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna eat me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And if we have not been bit by the time I finish that sandwich, we may go work inside of that creek. I know there's gonna be fish concentrated in there. Well, there's possibly a decent fish right there I just passed. That doesn't look like a bad one at all. That's a good sign. Yeah, maybe we'll keep going this course. There's definitely one right there. I'm still gonna eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich once I find it. The old bag is sweating because I've just got it out there in the dang sun pretty much. Gonna make my bread soggy. We'll throw it in here, keep it off the sun. Yeah, I seen one good fish by itself there. Oh man, he popped me loose. He popped me loose. Well, we got hit. I don't feel any bait. Now, was this that center chunk? I believe it was. And it is gone, gone, gone. It's also that yellow colored spook that seems to be getting a lot of the bites. I thought I was going to get a bite of that sandwich for a minute. We'll go ahead and bait up. Nothing like shad on your hands while you're eating peanut butter and jelly. Now we're going to skip the center chunks. They're definitely getting hit, and that's 2 in a row. It's gotten taken off, so we'll hook another one through the. These shad like this, when they're young, they're really tender and they come off the hook extra easy. They don't put up with a lot of abuse. Now we're getting bit right there. We're hung up on one rod and getting bit on the other rod, and the hang up came loose. Yeah. Well, we're getting bit still away from the creek, so I'll just keep rolling the flat. Because if I go in the creek, the sun's going to be right in the dang camera. There is more hang-ups, and also there's going to be some downtime where I'm not fishing, because once we get to the end of it, I'm going to have to pull everything in, go back out towards the head of it. You won't hardly get bit at all pulling out of one most of the time. So since we only have a short time to fish and we're getting bit, we'll just stay the course. And that one was more on the outside of the flat. That one we missed, it was good looking bite. Just, oh shoot, we're already hooked up. Gosh dang it. I can't eat this peanut butter sandwich, man. I just got my hand on it and I looked and the rod was down. Another small one, but it's action, man. I haven't fished in a couple weeks, and it is nice to have some action on a trip, even if they are them old sandwich size. And I haven't had time to cut up that drum and try it. I can't even get a bite of my sandwich. So I'm definitely more interested in cutting up a drum or that sandwich than I am cutting up a drum. Don't splash my sandwich now. We'll let them in there easy. Yeah, that's another one towards that side of the boat. More towards the channel ledge. See if I can get baited up and somehow get that sandwich ate. I am running out of bait pretty quick. I had 30 something of these shad and I could swear we've used half of them. Already. They're just young and tender and they come off easy. Young and tender. I'm not gonna let a bunch of line out. Takes longer to reel them in, and we're only 23 feet deep here. I don't expect a lot of depth change. There we go. I'm getting closer and closer to that peanut butter sandwich. I hate to wipe my hands off on that towel. See if I got one that don't stink it so bad. This one don't stink quite as bad. Look at there, I'm getting bit already. And we're gonna try to get the sandwich in me. Oh, that's that hump. We're coming up on a hump right here. I may be getting hung up right here. We'll see. That'd be my luck, that bad luck spook get hung up. Let me go ahead and get off of this just a little bit. The river channel is turning here. All right, y'all, we'll attempt this. Oh man, it's soaking wet. Soggy. Oh man, I see why it's wet. There's water right there in my boat. Nasty water. It was iced up in there. I'm gonna give myself the gosh dang food poisoning. Yes, so I already ate some of it, so we'll see what kind of bacteria I got there. Man, I'll tell you what, I got another one. We'll try it. I swallowed some of that nasty old water. I'm like, what made it be so wet? It was one of these right here that collects water back here, and I set that sandwich right on top of it. Hopefully I don't get no flesh-eating disease or brain-eating amoeba from that. Oh, shit! Gosh, dang it, I can't eat this sandwich. I bet you he's gonna tangle me up too. Come on. Got one bite out of that sandwich. He's at the top of the water good. That'll keep him from getting tangled up. Come on, man. Yep. Just can't eat a sandwich today. He slimed that line all the way up it. Yeah. Man, I just got my hand cleaned off there, Bubba. Another one. Whole sandwich size, man. I'll tell you what, we're still getting fish. And I'd say it's, of course, now when they say moon rises at 3, you're not seeing the moon yet. It's usually about 45 minutes later when it starts getting visible. And when it starts getting visible and high in the sky, when I can see it, that's when I expect it to really affect me, but who knows? I have seen good bites on full moons, but it's like 1% of the time out of 99. I've got the anxiety going on about that nasty, soggy sandwich I ate, sitting in the wrong spot. And I didn't mean to sit it there, but I am here to catch fish, and so, well, a fish happened to hit. Oh, maybe we'll get this out. And actually, I need to let this one out and flip places with that one. We're getting closer and closer to bite number 2 out of that sandwich. Try it again. Ma'am. thought I was going to have to get another there. That fish may have stuck. I guess he did. We may have one stuck on that red board right there. I seen the bite, and it came back up, and then it dragged back. They'll hit like that, and they'll get stuck, and they'll just ride along with the boat. Give you very little clue. See how that board is acting just a little funky? I'd say we got a fish on there. I'll go ahead and check it when I get through with this peanut butter sandwich. Yeah, that board is oh shoot. I believe we got one on the yellow one and the red one. Cause I'm pretty sure this one's got one on it. What would be a mess is if they both hung up and had two of them twirling with that line. We'll go ahead and get him in. And if I see anything else funny out of that red board, I'm gonna have to pull it in. Oh shoot. Yeah, we're hooked up there. We're hooked up there. Uh-oh, this might be a little better one here. And I believe we may have one on this board still. We definitely got this one. Yeah. They're definitely running on the flat. Typically, I don't do good in this section of flat. It's after the creek and before any real structure. And I've drugged this flat many times. And usually this is the dead part of it. And we're getting so much action, I can't even eat a sandwich here. This is the bigger of the two. Not big, but the bigger of the two. And it might be three. We may have one on this red one. We'll get him here. Yeah. He's just heavy enough, I'll put the net on him. Even got the bait back. Got the bait back. And that's good, because I don't have a lot of that old bait. Thought I did, but the bite is pretty active. Come on in there. That's in a bad spot to get that out. It's the thick part. Come on. There we go. That's probably the second heaviest fish. Now come on, straighten out at least. He ain't gonna turn that tail. Just wrap it around me. But yeah, we hit close to the 10-pound mark there. We'll go ahead and chunk this one out. We'll tend to these other two. That way I got, because I do believe that red one might have a fish on it. He's small, but I believe he's on there. Go ahead and let this one out. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna have to wipe my hands a little bit. My hands are so slimy. I can't grab the rod, just for curiosity's sake. Okay, there's nothing there, but let's check the bait, because it definitely got hit. And then we'll get this other fish on. When you see it get hit, you at least need to check it. Make sure you actually got a bait in the water. Tell you what, I'm not handling big fish, but I'm handling so many fish that I'm never really getting a chance to just chill out. And it's gotten me kind of hot, even though it's cold, because there's really no breeze out here to speak of, which is a positive thing. I mean, if it's going to be just 40 degrees, it is nice that there isn't no breeze. So we'll throw this one out. Ooh, that sounds bad. That sounds bad. Little work to the deployment process of planer boards and stuff, but man, you can really haul in some fish. Go ahead and get this one in. He's just been there, patient. How good are you hooked? Yeah, I can pull him in like this. There's still a bait in his mouth, but yeah, he just swallowed it actually. Yeah, another bread and butter fish. £3 pound. Yeah, now I'm getting a little more structure in the flat coming up here. And that's the part that's usually active on this flat, but that could be about the time we actually start seeing the moon. And that's what I'm interested to see is, I have seen really good bites just shut off the higher that moon gets in the sky. But we'll see. It's not 100% it does that. Only like 99. This could be that 1 in 100 trips they keep biting. You don't know. So far it looks like I've had audio all up until this point, according to the green bars on that camera. The first camera, I done test with it at the house, and there were problems, so I just wasn't sure if it was the mic or the camera. So I just put that, matter of fact, I threw that camera in the trash because it did have other issues that it was giving me. And I figured it was a good time to trash it. So far, this is a newer camera. And then again, I've got 2 of these mic kits. So if I was to switch mics, maybe we'd see the issues with the other one. I'd love to find out what the problem actually is so I can cure it. That newer camera, it's more expensive, it's heavier, it isn't weather sealed, and I can still use it for other types of videos, but it would not be my designated boat camera, not being weather sealed. I mean, this camera gets water on it, even when it ain't raining. I'll pull that trolling motor in, start booking down the lake, and there's water coming off that trolling motor. Things just get wet out in the boat. Seems there's a lot of water around the boat. And that's what's making things wet. Either way, I am riding a hump right here with these 2 boards, the ledge of a hump, and these 2 are riding a smooth flat right now. That's what we're doing right here, according to the map. Drink this last bit of Welch's fruit punch. Ah. Yep. He's on. He's on. We have not went real long without a bite. I think the longest time we went was at the very beginning of the video. I think it took about 30 minutes to start hooking fish, but once we did, that's definitely a sandwich fish. But that's the type you want to eat right there. They don't have no mud streak in them, just young, tender blue cats. And there's plenty of them this size, as you can see. Well, that hook's wanting to be difficult. These circle hooks can be tough to get out. It's not the barb that's making them tough, it's the way they bend. That's just a bread and butter eating size, Blue. I start seeing a lot of those this time of year. You see your bigger fish, usually October, November. And then this time of year, from now through February, I'm going to see a lot of this size fish. They just get really active. Yeah, we're getting less and less bait in the box here. I definitely don't have enough shad to do another trip. I do have that drum in there, but I don't even know if they'll touch drum. Drum is one of those baits that could be what catch you the biggest fish of the day, or they just may not want to touch it. It's kind of like crappie, or white bass, or yellow, or some of these other alternative baits you see me use that can be really good at one time of year and not good another. It's one of those Joker's Wild kind of baits. "20 foot, yeah, we're pulling a much smaller or much shallower flat. We started out more 26. And here again, I'm not even in the active section of it. Usually up here is more active. There's some inlets to some backwaters and stuff, and just a lot of humps and bumps in the terrain. We are getting bit after 3 o'clock, which is, I guess, positive. Last time I fished a pretty hot bite on Fort Loudon, man, I was just banging them out. And it's all of a sudden, it just died. It just died. And I looked up, I seen that big moon. I've had that happen to me more times than not. One time I did have a really good active full moon bite. It was at night, and I was fishing a real shallow cove all the way at the end of it, probably in about 6 foot of water. And those fish were biting just as fast as you throw it out there. Normally, you don't see much action. I'm going to go ahead and steer to the right. The river is turning right. Not a lot of luck on the ledge, don't seem like. I'll pull a little more out. I'll tell you what, using an experimental bait like the drum, I'm less likely to use it when I know there's something like a full moon in the sky. Because here again, shad is going to be your most active bait throughout the winter. And the drum's a toss-up, and then you throw that full moon in there. Now, if there was no full moon, you know, or we was 3 or 4 hours before it rose, I'd cut up some of that drum in a second, as active as the bite is, and try it on a couple rods. Like I say, I don't see it yet, which is good. Once you can see it, that's when things really get rough, usually. It does seem like the bites are slowing down from back there where I was trying to eat that sandwich. And like I say, I have seen it just shut off and you would not get another bite. Go from active to nothing at all. Well, there, a nice quiet spell, looky there. Got about 5-10 minutes of just chill out time. Nope, nope. No, I didn't either. No, I didn't either. I spoke too soon. Now that was on that ledge of that hump, so I thought about backing off it and maybe I'll stay on it, at least on one side. Still getting bites after 3 o'clock. Don't you get up in that board now. That's one reason I'm not throwing as much line out. See, if I had a lot of angle going out on that board, he can much easier get into it. But if that line is more straight down like this, off that board, he's got to get a lot closer to that board to get in it. Since we're fishing shallower, we don't need a lot of line out. How good you hooked there, Bubba? Looks like he's hooked pretty good. Yeah. There we are. Loading the boat up with these eater sizes. He clamped on me right as I let him go. Took some of my skin with him. There goes that old hook. Caught in that rod. Yeah. These little owner hooks, I've been using them about 4 or 5 months. They're doing all right. I had a hook I was getting really good hook sets on. And they're a Daiichi copy. The design of the hook is great. They had these huge barbs. And it was so tough to get the hooks back out. I mean, just like physical work. Make you mad, it'd be so hard to get back out. In the middle was garbage. It would just bend. Every 2 or 3 fish, you'd go to rebait. The point of that hook would just be bent straight over. And you'd wonder why you were missing fish. Well, that's why. And sometimes you'd catch one fish on it and have the hook bent. I've actually bent the hook putting bait on. So I got tired of them old cheap things. And these owner hooks, a lot of these hooks have caught 40, 50 fish now or more, because, you know, I'm not breaking off or anything on that much. And the points, I got hit right there. We're hooked up right there. I thought we were. He let go of it. I hope I still got a bait on it. He was pulling on it. That's another one on the ledge of this hump. But the owner hooks have been a good quality of metal. And I have landed some bigger size fish on them back in the fall. They seem to work even on the bigger ones, so yeah, I'll just go with them. The hook isn't really cheaper if you're constantly cutting it off and throwing it away. You're losing all that fishing time sitting there trying to sharpen it. But a lot of times, the way those circle hooks are shaped, it will be in a bad position where you can't get your sharpener on it. You just waste a lot of time. End up cutting them off. So to me, it's cheaper to pay more for the owner and just catch 50 fish off one, and I'm not losing all this time looking for my hook sharpener, trying to sharpen it. Oh, I can't sharpen it in this position, let's just cut it off and retie. No more of that with the owners. And I'm happy about that. Let me check my audio because it is colder. And I'll typically get 4 hours in the summer on one of these mics. But that could be cutting it when it's cold. You have to have audio in a video. Oh. Yeah, this will be my first time back. And now when I'm fishing regularly, I've located fish. I've had time to locate better fish. Well, I've been off the water 2 weeks. And here we are, 10 degrees colder. And so, yeah, we're starting right back from scratch. And, you know, the trip's only going to be about 4 hours long today, so not a lot of time to experiment. We're catching fish, so I'm just going to stick the course. You know, I could pull the boat over and try deep water. That takes time to reel in all your lines. Yeah, there's another one. And we're just catching fish, so I just ain't going to complain. First time out in a couple weeks, just rod's going down. So we'll take it. Now see if that line was really long coming off that yellow board, he could get into it. But it's going more straight down. So he should come over the top. Still getting hit, and it's after 3, I still don't see the moon yet. I don't want to, actually. I've got too many bad memories of fishing trips and full moons. Go ahead and let this out, since I'm gonna have to let it out. We'll get him in. might have to open it. It's loose if you'll open it. Thank you. Another one of those. If the moon is coming up that way, there is a little bit of haze in the sky, so over that way I may not be seeing it. But according to the moon information people, it's up. Go ahead and rehook this dude. He has demolished it. I'm just going to hook it through the eyes here. Yeah, that's a good way to lose a fish. I'll just hook this one through the backbone. It's kind of going to be like hooking a center chunk, but we won't waste the bait. I don't have a lot of bait. I thought I had a lot of bait, but we seem to be pulling in a fish about every 5 minutes or so. Sometimes a couple at a time. I think we got 3 at a time back in front of that creek. So yeah, this bait is, it's going. Put this in this rod holder. This one over here. Yeah, it's the bites seem to be a little more scattered after 3 o'clock, but still regularly. I haven't had a chance to sit down really, which I'm going to attempt to do now. Oh yeah. But yeah, I had the camera issues. That was the first reason I took off. And well, then I got a new camera. That took some time. I spent several days researching cameras, watching YouTube videos, reviews, blah, 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 and decided to go with this Sony camera. All these other YouTubers were using it, blah, blah, blah. And it's more of an expensive route. You got to buy lenses for it. And during this process, I decided I would, since I'm watching YouTube videos, I would learn more about video editing, these different editing programs. When I started YouTube, I started out on a $150 laptop in Windows Movie Maker, which was free. Well, they done away with Windows Movie Maker. And I didn't want to be a computer guru and get these hard to understand editing programs, so I went with an Apple, which I had iMovies. And I continued to edit with iMovies for another 5 years or so. And now that I'm having to force myself to learn how to actually use a real camera, I decided I would force myself to use a real editing program. So I have a Final Cut Pro, which is something you buy from Apple. I've got it on one computer, and I got another one called DaVinci Resolve. Way more complicated, way more stuff it can do. And so yeah, that's what I've been doing during my couple weeks off. Picking a little bit of guitar here and there. There we go. He's on. He's on. Keep him high, keep him high, keep him out of the other line. Oh, he's going for it. He's going, getting close. Get him up top, get him up top. Get him up top. Don't you go for it. He's going right for it, y'all. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. We might have got caught in that bad luck spook. I seen it move. He got me. He got me. So we'll pop that loose. Yeah. I thought I popped it loose, but yeah, we'll have to pull two in here. Come on, old ornery blue cat. You old mess maker. How good are you hooked? He's kind of like skin hooked. I'm gonna pull him up anyway. Skin hooked under the front part of the mount. But he's hooked, and that's the way these offsets work. Even though it looks like it's gonna come out, it still grabbed him through the top there, which is why you want an offset hook. Just a regular, no offset hook would have slid right out of there. He's a little fatter. There's a 4.5 pounder. Yeah. And we'll have to pull two in once I get the way this is going here. Let's see here. This might, if I can keep this loop big, I might can get this out without too much issue. Okay, the only problem I got, okay, it's loose, there we go. We're loose. We are loose, loose, loose. That was on the old crappie flavored spook. It's got an old purple back to it, spots like a crappie. That one came from Size Matters Catfishing. It's a different brand than a Demon Dragon. Yeah, I am using my bait right up. Should have enough to finish this video. Yeah, that moon must be into that haze, because I am not seeing it. I believe we just got bit. That board is loose, but that dragon weight is still probably rubbing bottom. There's the moon. I see it right over there about the time I said that. It's in the clear, right there to my right. It's well up over the trees. But I'm still getting bit, so. We'll go with it. I haven't caught a lot of fish looking at that moon, I can tell you that. And like I say, about 1 in every 100 trips, I actually have a good bite on a full moon. And who's to say the bite would not be a lot better if it wasn't in the sky? Get off there, get off there. Ooh, that came close. Came so close. Well, so far, elephants are not eating peanuts today. And here again, those bigger fish could be keying on crappie or something. That happens this time of year. Woo! That thing needs some oil in it. 20 foot of water we're in. Let's back out. I had pre-cut a bait because I thought I was going to need it, and I don't. Let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of those small shad left. I had 30 something when I started this trip. Oh shoot, I'm letting that yellow board go way out there. And that's all right, we can catch them out there too. Just farther to pull them in. We'll leave it out there wide. I do need to, these are just them old shop towels. They're real good for getting stuff off your hands. I use them on my camera lens. Put a little alcohol on there. Gets them old water spots. Sometimes you get pieces of bait on that lens. Well, y'all, I'm looking at that moon, and we have caught fish while it's up. Now, according to this low rant here, I'm creeping up onto a hump. We'll see if my depth changes. I think it's bull crap. The Garmin shows somewhat of a ledge that I'm on, and that's on both graphs. But this low rant is showing a big hump. Like I say, my phone app was way better. What it said was 99% correct. And I kind of miss it. You see something on a map, you're like, oh boy, let's go fish that. And you get there, and there's nothing there. It's just flat bottom. Yeah, this says I'm crawling up on a big hump. My depth's staying the same. My boards ain't trying to get hung up. Nice and still out here, y'all. I do believe the bites have went down since the moon came up. There was definitely, you know, going on more. A lot of missed fish and stuff, and that's slowed down some. We'll keep a pulling as long as they keep biting. That was a small bite right there on that red board. Something took a nip. No, that's on the yellow board. Way out there. Y'all, if I was rich enough, I'd have me a house on this lake right here. Just walk straight out onto the dock. Your boat's already tied up. I'd have it made. I wouldn't have to worry about my four-wheel drive being tore up. Wouldn't have to go through that Knoxville traffic. like I do making these videos. I'd have me a live bait tank. I'd go out and net a bunch of shad and I'd keep them live in a big tank. Right there on the dock, I'd just dip a few out. Have fresh water coming in from the lake, circulating it. I take one designated bait run a month and I just fill that tank up. All I have to do is dip net some out for the day. Head out. It's definitely more primitive doing it the way I do. Driving a long way, having to come up with bait first. Sometimes the hardest part of catching these catfish is coming up with the bait. And if that moon wasn't up, I'd try a piece of that drum. See what time we got going on here. I'll tell you what, when it gets cold like this, my phone screen goes dim. It takes a long time to get it to come on. I can't even see what time it is. There we go. 3:48. We're gonna mess around probably another hour out here. And I'd say it's gonna get slower and slower the higher that moon comes up. And then I'll run around here and try to find me some more shad. The good thing is tomorrow the moon's gonna come up a little later. I don't know, about 45 minutes later. And the next day it'll be even a little later, so that'll give me more afternoon to fish, because I'm gonna fish about 3 days in a row since I've been off for so long. Yeah, I usually do really well in this area of this flat, usually. And here again, there's a fish, decent one, and he's tight to the bottom. I mean, just tight, covered up in mud. It's mostly yellow. From the mud, I can see a little bit of that purplish, reddish purplish that you get from the catfish. I'm a little shallower. I'm at 19 foot. So I guess there is a little something here, but it ain't much. There's a bite way out there. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. That feels like a better fish so far. Maybe not. Well, he buried the rod. Yeah, he buried it. Nailed it. Yeah. Aggressive bite. Yeah, there's a bite there. Guess we're coming through a patch. No, he's a small fish. He just nailed it. He nailed it, burned it. Come on. He's a little bigger than some of them. Getting close to the 6 pound range probably. Come on up here. Oh shit. Oh, there we go. I knew he'd eyeballed it once. Yeah. Well, possibly got 2 baits in the water if that yellow one's. I'll tell you what, y'all, one of these, I put that shad hook through the back, and it may have been knocked off already, because that stuff don't take a lot of abuse. Get hooked through the back. Yeah, they're slamming it when they're hitting it. No doubt about that. Keep a little tension on him. Yeah. Yeah, man, come on. Open it. Open it. I may have to get something to persuade him to open that beak. If this goes on much longer, I'll get hit with another and really have my hands full. He's got his mouth clenched so tight, I can't get my finger back behind there. I may have got it right there. Yeah. Come on, man. Man, he's still got it clenched tight. The hook is loose, he just won't open up his mouth enough for me to get it out of there. Man, it's loose, brother. He is protesting. I'll tell you what, they got some jaw pressure when they want. Okay, it's hooked by just a little bit of skin there, and you done that when you shut your mouth back on me. Come on. Thank you. There we go. My guess is that one piece I put on hook through the back is no longer on there. Would be my guess. On the bigger gizzards, it's a lot tougher fish, and you can hook them like that, but the small ones are tender. I thought I had one of these already cut up, but I guess it don't. Must have used it. Looks like I'm going to need it. We'll get this one out. We'll get this other fish in. And then I need to be checking that left rod. Actually, that one yellow board has been hit enough. I need to be checking it, because I can get these heads off with enough biting around at it. That's that bad luck spook that caught that fish, believe it or not. I see it. The bite is good enough that the bad luck spook can actually catch a fish. Yeah, I really need to be checking both those yellow boards, because one's been hit and the other one was hooked through the back. and not the beak. And that can cause issues. Come on in here. That's more of a 7-pounder there. We'll get him up. We'll get him up. On the bad luck spook. Almost. There we go. He's just a squawking. There's a lot of squeaking and a squawking going on. Oh shoot, I'm letting too much line out of that. It's about with that other board. I'm gonna go ahead and let that other board go back because I need to check it. I'll tighten it up in a second here. So that red board don't catch it. Going up around it there. Thank you. We'll get it behind anyway. Where I can reel it in here in a minute. We'll get this out. We may only be pulling that one bait in the water because we may not have nothing on those. There we go. The moon's getting higher. And it's not completely full. What did they say, 90 something percent? It's full enough. Full enough, I usually don't want to see it. Tell you what, there is a lot of work going on today. Bait and hooks, throw them back out. Woo, that sounds bad. Like I said, we either don't have bait out there or it could be the moon. But I believe I'm pulling 2 baits at this point. That's what, no, we did get hit right there. We got hit, so we'll leave that one alone. This other one, I am gonna check. Yeah, it feels really light. Yeah, I gotta quit hooking those tender pieces through the backbone because there just ain't much backbone. Look at this. To them backbones. No, is there a bait on there? There is a bait on there, y'all. I'll be dang. It's just, oh, it's that little bitty head. Well, it's good we checked it. What that could be is that board being that far out is closer to the channel, and that's just not where the action is. It ain't had nothing. We had to check. See, these boards are backwards. I need to fix them. Yeah, we never had a chance to get up in the creek because I mean, I'm just reeling in fish the whole time I'm out here, so. Had I been pulling a piece of crappie or something, could it be different? Could be. Very well could be. Put this one over here. Put this one here. And we'll put this one over here. There we go. Well, y'all, okay, I need to go to the right here. I am coming up on some stuff here. River bend is changing. I've got some business I got to take care of. There's a spider web on my camera here. Yeah. Taking care of business. Taking care of business. I hope I don't get bit while I'm taking care of business. That's happened. I'll be taking care of business. Oh, we got a hang up right there. I'm hanging out and that rod's hanging up. There we go. I'm glad I done that. Says I've still got audio. That's good. It's always good to have audio in a video. Taking care of business. Yeah, we're 17 foot here. We're even shallower. There's this whole snaky channel system that goes back that way. There might be something back up in there. Could be. There's actually a bank spot somewhere in here that I used to bank fish. I think it's just a little more this way. And I have caught some good fish when the water's down in the winter. Bank fishing there. Caught a real big flathead on a bank video back in my young days off that area. Yeah, there's two flats here. I am riding, well, not really. Yeah, I definitely see why I'm shallower though. We're pulling structure. We're pulling a bit of a hump in the ledge here. There's a little opening right here we're coming into. There's a creek channel. We're trying to get hung up right there. We may be hung up, y'all. I hope not. She came loose. That's why we run dragging weights. I'm gonna go ahead and steer the boat to the right quite a bit. Yeah, we're coming in front of what they call a creek channel. Yeah, I think the bite is slowing down the more that moon comes up. It's pretty up there right now. I don't know if y'all could even see it. You might can see it because it's that way above them houses. You may can see it on that camera. Yeah, that yellow board is going over some humps and bumps there. Yeah, I believe the moon is slowing us down. It's getting just a little less active. The higher it gets, seems like the worse it gets. Still a little bit of bird life coming out of that little cove back over there. Definitely seeing less birds. What I'm not seeing out here is bait. I'm not seeing any schools of bait out here. All the bait that I seen was coming out of a creek. In the deeper sections of the creek, I'm seeing clouds of bait. Out here, I'm not seeing much at all. There's a fish right there. I just went right over as we're coming in front of this little creek mouth. Few catfish out here, but not seeing no thread fins at all. This graph here is all messed up, and what that's caused from is running two graphs at the same time. They're picking up each other's signal. And you would think if this one is only on maps that it wouldn't be doing that. But obviously it is, because this graph has just got a bunch of squiggly lines. I'm going to go ahead and turn this low rance off. Like I say, I wanted to see the area, see if I'm, it not only can show you fish, it can show you pods or schools of bait fish. And the bait fish are definitely in the creek. Now, we haven't been out in the channel. Maybe they could be deep, but I did see quite a bit in the creek that I came out of. Could be a hot creek bite. We just never had a chance to get to it. We caught so many out here, I just stayed. There's a bite on the yellow board coming out of that creek mouth. Yeah, I tried to check the time, y'all. My phone's dark again. Don't like the cold weather. There it says, there's the moon, 91.7%. Waxing gibbous. I didn't know there's any wax on the moon. I thought it was all dust, craters. Was it the moon that's got the green cheese, or was that Mars? Or was that little green men? Yeah, we're getting a small one tapping on me there. Tapping away. There is a school right there. As I said that, I veered into 21 foot. There's a school of something. That could be a pod of, I don't know what. It could be gizzards. Could be a school of tightly schooled yellow bass or something. Who knows? Yeah, okay. We're getting deeper now. 22 foot. Now I'm seeing more as far as possible bait fish. Yeah, them people that live up on the hill, that would kind of depress me, because there's really no way to access the water from their property, not without some type of acrobatic climbing going on. Yeah, if I lived on the lake, y'all, I'd just sit off one of them docks and make bank fishing videos. Might not even pull the boat out. Have me some rod holders built on the docks. Yeah, the bite's slowing. It is slowing. The moon is getting higher, and the bite is slowing. I kind of figured it would. They say that initial rise can get them to bite half hour before to a half hour after, and then after that, that full moon effect starts kicking in. The moon actually affects the tides, water levels, has gravitational pull. So they say. Little bite on the red board. We might be getting one right there. I thought we was going to get a fish right there. Is he just holding it? Is he holding it? He is holding it. He's holding it. He's just holding it. Yeah. There we go. Well, this one's staying down a little bit. Staying down better than a... Did he come off? He came off, y'all. That was a better fish. Looky there. Look how my hook done. That was a better fish right there. Look how it doubled back into the bait. I tried to pull up on him and he wasn't coming up. I'm like, gosh dang, I've actually got a bigger fish. And this is that bad luck spook. That was the biggest fish of the day right there. That fish was staying down. There wasn't none of that tail kicking stuff going on. And the gosh dang hook, well, you seen it turn back, he just let go of it. He wasn't hooked, he was just holding it. So we did have a shot at one decent fish. The problem is he hit that bad luck spook. Dag blasted. Dag blasted. Yeah, that one felt different. Then he got down below the boat, was staying down. I'm like, yeah. But we got him on the bad luck spook. Dag blasted. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, when he bit, I didn't think he was much. But then when he got alongside the boat, I'm like, man, this fish is staying down. And then he got more by the boat there, and I'm like, he's still staying down. And then I tried to just lift up on him, and he wasn't lifting up. And I'm like, we've got a good one on here, you know? We got a small one on here, I believe. Yeah, man, I had one good one on there finally. And it was on the bad luck spook. Dag blasted. Let me go ahead and put this on the right side here. Dag blasted. We had a good one, y'all. Dang it. See, I know this one ain't much. You can feel all the tail kicking. I can move this one. Dag blasted. That's the brakes. That is the brakes. We had a shot at a good one. It was definitely the best one of the day. I don't know, how big it was. He was definitely over 20. Could have been over 30. Who knows? Dag blasted. On the bad luck spook, man. I told you that spook is bad luck. I need to go way. We hooked him right. I told you there was that little creek channel coming out right there. That's where we hooked him. That's where I was expecting to hook one. And that's where we hooked one. Come on now. Got my bait back. Yeah, the hook ain't turned back on no other fish till the biggest fish of the day. Look at that coming out of there. I wonder if he's eating mussels. I don't know. He's got mud on him. Dang, blasted. Finally hooked a heavy fish. And that's what happens. Dag blasted. That would have made the trip. we got to see him. But that's fishing. That's fishing on a full moon with a bad luck spook. Dag blasted. Yeah, usually if I get hit by a good fish on this flat, that's right about where I hit him. And that's where I got hit. And the hook turned back into the bait. Some old small fish like that hitting on it first is what causes that stuff. I have lost more big fish because a small fish hit the bait first. See how much recording time I got left here. That can't be right. Maybe it is. We put in at 1. 2, 3, 4. Well, y'all, we had a shot at a good one. And I don't even have another peanut butter sandwich to help ease my pain. I feel defeated. Put in a lot of work for that one good fish. And I should have known better than to tie on that bad luck spook. I eventually cut it off. I had so many bad things happen last time, I just cut it off the line. I said, I ain't using one of these again. I said, well, maybe that's just a fluke, you know, or whatever. Man, I'm telling you, that's a bad luck spook. Nocturnal Nation brand Demon Dragon. When you go on the website, it says hot buy. Oh, yeah. No, you can't get rid of them no more because people's done found out. That's a bad luck spook. He's gonna make me catch him. I believe he is. Oh, he come loose. And I don't mind because he wasn't big enough to reel in no how. Bad luck spook. Pulled my bait off. Well, we did get a bigger fish to hit one of them smaller baits. And the bite is slowing down the more that moon comes up, so That's probably going to be our only shot at a big one. From what I'm seeing today. And by experience, this section of the flat, once I get beyond that point, doesn't usually put out as many fish. And there's no time in this video to pull in and go back through that area again. We're getting bit, we're getting bit, we're getting bit. I think he's just holding it. He's still nipping at it. I can feel it with my thumb. And he may have stuck. That fish may be on it. If I feel anything else, I'll have to go ahead and get him. He's either on it or he's nipping it. Following it and nipping it. Yeah, I still feel stuff on that. So he's either on it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it, see if he's on it, and if not, he'll leave it alone because I don't want one that small nipping at it anyhow. All he's gonna do is get the bait messed up or took off. We'll go ahead and take it from him. Yeah, he's a nipping at it, for sure. There's some birds over there, right up in the shallows. I wouldn't mind pulling that over there, but we don't have time to go over there. Those birds know where the bait is, and that bait could be where the even more fish is. Although we pulled in plenty and even had our shot at a good one. Yeah, we're just about at the end of this pool right here. This flat runs out and then it turns into all channel, so. Don't have time to pull everything in and then go back. So we'll just finish this out and we'll call it. There is one more creek entrance right before it runs out. Could hold some potential. They're doing some kind of construction over there. Now there's a school of bait right there. Big old mass of something. If I wasn't trying to throw my net, I'd throw over that. I mean, wasn't trying to make a video, I'd get my net out. Maybe they'll still be there when I come back through. Because I'm going to need some more bait after today. They done wore me out. Wore my bait situation slap out. There's a decent fish tight to the bottom. So there's still potential. Yeah, you got it, didn't you? You got it. Yes, you did. Come on up here, old sandwich fish. We had a shot at a granddaddy, but you had to come along instead. But it's action, y'all. I ain't been out here in a couple weeks. Come on. It's loose if you'll open it. It's loose if you'll open it. There we go. Yeah, 2-pounder. Two-pounder. 10 shad left. So I'm definitely gonna have to go catch some bait before it gets dark. Yeah, I guess for a December day, as cold as it is, it couldn't be no more perfect, because here again, there's no choppy water, there's no wind. It was really windy yesterday. After that front blew through here. But yeah, this is just smooth sailing. And other than the bad luck spook losing the biggest fish of the day, and me getting my peanut butter sandwich down in some of that nasty water there, and then me ingesting it, it's not been too bad of a day. We have been bit. And there's some days you can't hardly buy a bite, so I guess we'll take what we got. Yeah, that fish, he didn't want to come up, man. And I'm like, I've actually got a respectable fish on here. And he wasn't hooked, he was just holding it. And when I really went to put pressure on him, he just let go of it. Man. I won't be getting any more of those hot buys, bad luck spooks. I don't even know if I would give these away because I can't think of anybody that I hate that bad. We're in a combination of an area of a flat that I usually don't get much action anyway, and a full moon. They seem to be more attracted to that over there. And there's, like I say, there's lots of humps, bumps, these little creek channel accesses. But we did get hooked up. Oh, he come off. We did get a bite anyhow. I wonder if this is that bad luck spook. Is it the bad luck spook? No, no, it's the old size matter. Catfish spook, it's just a small fish. Well, there's still some scattered fish here. Not a hot zone, but we are getting an occasional bite. Coming up on the end. Yeah, there's that creek access. Once we pass that, we're gonna call it. There's my cold phone again. I can't let this video go too long. YouTube would not let me upload. It was like 4 hours and 10 minutes or something. And it would not let me upload it. So I put it back on the computer and I cut out the part of me getting my rods and stuff out and made it to just under 4 hours. And I was able to get it on there. This says 225. And if that is minutes, how many minutes is in 4 hours? 4 times 6, 60, it's 240. Okay, 240. So we've got, I should be able to get this on there. Yeah, I can't go over because they wouldn't let me put it on there. Like I say, once I pulled it off, cut off the beginning of it, because if it says 4 hours in raw and uncut, you can't cut out the middle of it. And you'd like to have, at least be able to end the video. So I just got to keep eye on my minutes here. And we don't have many left if I'm going to 240. We got about 10 minutes left. Might not even make it to that creek mouth. Well, all right, y'all. You got to see it all. Almost 4 hours of raw and uncut what a catfish trip can really look like. Lines getting tangled up. Laying my sandwich in a puddle of water. Having to pee off the front of the boat during the filming of this video. You know, losing the big fish at the end of the day. It's all caught on camera, raw and uncut, 4 hours of what catfishing in December really looks like. I've got just a little bit of daylight left here, and I seen the most bait in one of the creeks I came out of, so I'm gonna head back that way. Try to get some bigger shad than what I got, because I definitely don't have another day's worth of bait in there. Caught a bunch of fish, had a shot at a good one. That's fishing. This is a video. There was fish in the video. That makes the fishing video. This is Catfish Day with another one, signing out. Still got audio? Yeah. No bait on there. Hard to catch fish without bait. Hard to catch fish without bait. Don't think I got any bait on here. No bait on there. Well, no wonder it wasn't getting a bite. No wonder. No wonder. Yeah. Oh, yeah.